Marcus Aurelius ruled over millions of people, and he didn't care what any of them thought about him. Well, at least he worked hard not to care about what any of them thought about him. We see that throughout Meditations, where we see him repeatedly talk about focusing more on his own actions than other people's opinions. The accidental byproduct of this focus was that millions of people loved Marcus. And that is usually how it goes. After a great rookie season with the Chicago Cubs in 2017, Ian Happ had a rough second year. And then he started the 2019 season by being sent back down to the minor leagues. On the Daily Stoic podcast recently, Happ talked about the mindset shift that helped him get back to the majors, shifting his focus from the externals to the internals.
Mike Trout, best player of all time to ever do it. He's 0 for his last 13 with like 11 strikeouts. And it's like, okay, it's all right, guys. Everybody look, Mike is 0 for 13 with 11 strikeouts. If that's happening to him, we are all okay. We're all going to be fine. If you really trust your process, those valleys become shorter, and you're at the 0 for 20 mark. And instead of thinking, holy shit, I might never get a hit again, like this is the worst, most unpleasant feeling in the world, and start to doubt or worry about playing time or everything. Like if you're like, well, this just means I'm really, really close to going 5 for 10, or like the pendulum's going to swing back and I'm going to get absolutely en fuego in a minute. That's the difference in perspective, and like trusting that work and trusting that, this doesn't last forever and it's going to come back, and it's going to come back tenfold. Like that was one of the things this year I think let me be a lot more consistent, was the 0 for 4s or the 0 for 8s. Like that just meant that something good was coming, and that reframing was really, really big for me.
It's like I am statistically due for a yes or a hit here, right? Like it can't be no's forever.
Yep, it's not possible. You have to have that constant belief and keep chugging away at it.
So it's like, what are you optimizing for? Who are you trying to be? What do you want your life to look like? I think we can so often get caught up in the minutia of something. We just go, well, should I do this or that? And what we're not thinking about is like, where does that get us closer or further away from where we really ought to be?
I also think there's a lot of following, or there's a lot of, here's what it looks like is making other people happy. Here's what people around me are doing. So I'm just going to do that thing, instead of having the, whatever it is, confidence or looking inside and saying, well, maybe that thing isn't actually going to make me happy, but what do I value? And if I really know what I value and the things that make me happiest and the things that lead me to kind of peace and clarity of mind, like those are the things that I want to put at the forefront. And I don't need to be chasing all this other stuff. I think that's a pretty powerful way to look at happiness and just life overall.
Happ worked himself back into the Cubs lineup, and this past season he made his first All-Star team and picked up his first Golden Glove award in the process. That's what happens when you care more about what you are doing and less about what others are thinking. As Marcus Aurelius writes, ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Self-indulgence means tying it to the things that happen to you. But real success, real mastery, real sanity, that, he says, comes only by tying it to your own actions. So that's why we as Stoics shift our focus to the internal stats and the scoreboards. We focus on the things we control, the choices we make, the work we put in, the standards we hold ourselves to. We trust in that and know that the rest will take care of itself.